Hello everyone, and welcome to Carolina Center for ABA and Autism Treatment's presentation on an introduction to applied behavior analysis. So today we're going to talk about autism spectrum disorder. We're going to talk about applied behavior analysis, and then we're going to move into discussing what a board certified behavior analyst is, and also what a registered behavior technician is. So to start off, I want to introduce myself. My name is Kason Smith. I graduated from Campbell University in May of 2017. Then I began working as an RBT here at CCIBA in June of 2017. I worked for CCIBA for a little while as an RBT, and then I decided this is a career that I wanted to pursue. So then I decided to enroll in Ball State University to get my master's in ABA with an emphasis in autism. Shortly after that, I began working as a teacher at a private school in Fayetteville, North Carolina. It is a school for children with autism. I worked there for one school year while I continued my job as an RBT at CCI after those school hours. In July of 2019, I graduated with my master's in ABA. In November of 2019, I sat for my BCBA exam, and on December the 20th, 2019, I received my passing results, and I began working as a BCBA here at CCI in January of 2020. So I'm working alongside Denise DeCandia. She is originally from Long Island and began her career in autism working between ABA services for young children in the home and severe maladaptive behavior treatment for adults in a group home. She is also a BCBA and has her Master's of Science in ABA and Autism from Sage Graduate School. Denise helped found the Mariposa School. She served on their board of directors and then served as their program director. Shortly after that, Denise then founded Carolina Center for ABA and Autism Treatment. And here we are. So we're going to start out today talking about what autism spectrum disorder is. When we talk about the symptoms of autism, we think about mainly the social communication and social interaction deficits. So individuals with autism often have deficits in developing and maintaining friends. They have deficits in functional communication and social emotional reciprocity. When others see or think of individuals with autism, oftentimes they think of the stereotypy that individuals engage in. They also think of them being very rigid and having inflexible routines. They also think of restricted and fixated interests. For example, individuals may only like certain types of food, or they may only like certain types of toys like trains or Peppa Pig, those kinds of things. And they also think of individuals with autism as having hyper or hyporeactivity to sensory input. Individuals with autism often have symptoms that present in their early stages of life, but sometimes these individuals do have symptoms that come about later in life. To be diagnosed with autism, there is diagnostic evaluation screenings that need to be completed by a developmental psychologist. This here is a heat map of children with autism in North Carolina. So if you look closely at the different counties here in our state, you can see that there are some numbers in each county. So these numbers serve as the amount of individuals with autism compared to a BCBA in that county. And as you can see here, some rural counties are much higher than the more populated counties like Wake County, Cumberland County, those sorts of things. Here we have some more information regarding autism. At the top, you can see the prevalence of diagnoses of autism in the United States in children. So in 2000, there were 1 in 150 children diagnosed with autism, And most recently in 2014, the number of diagnoses has increased. So now there is 1 in every 59 children that have autism. The proven cost benefits that are tied to early intervention in 2025, it's projected a potential 2/3 of savings from the broad early intervention at $461 billion. At the bottom here, you can see the amount of states that have now enacted laws as of 2019. Every state but one has passed an autism mandate. So now we're going to talk about what ABA is. So ABA is short for Applied Behavior Analysis, which is an empirically validated evidence-based method for changing behavior by which clinicians identify a specific behavior, implement an intervention which alters the antecedents or consequences, and we'll talk about what those words mean later. Clinicians then measure that behavior and then refine the intervention until successful improvement is realized. So ABA teaches several skills. So some of those skills include learning how to learn. Um, Individuals learn social skills, communication, adapting living skills, which include motor skills, eating, toileting, dressing, self-care, those types of things. ABA is also proven to be effective in thousands of published studies, and it's also endorsed by a broad range of organizations. So, more specifically, ABA is an intensive medically necessary care that is typically administered between 10 and 40 hours per week for an extended period of time. So, that means that we have clients that receive only 10 hours of ABA a week, and we also have clients that receive 40 hours of ABA per week. And then we also have clients that are in the middle of those who might receive 15 or 20 or 35, just depending on the deficits of that client and the symptoms that are prevalent in that case. Here on the right, you can see a nice little visual of the grandfather of ABA. His name is B.F. Skinner. You may have heard of him and his work with operant conditioning. Um, ABA is, like we said earlier, an evidence-based practice, which means that all of the techniques that we use are backed up by research. So we research different behaviors in journals, and then we use the techniques and interventions that are researched and implement those with our clients. ABA also uses reinforcement, prompting, and shaping to increase desired behaviors, decrease challenging behaviors, improve independence, and to increase communication. So, why would we even need to use ABA? Why would someone want to use it? ABA is proven to be the gold standard for individuals who exhibit socially significant behavior deficits. Um, so a lot of times, individuals with autism are recommended to receive speech therapy services or occupational therapy services, different services like that, and those are also wonderful services that parents should um, provide or help their children get enrolled into. But also, ABA is, like I said, the gold standard for those individuals. So it's also a treatment that the individuals with ABA with autism should also use. ABA is not only for children with autism. So ABA can be used by several other individuals. For example, individuals that have other diagnoses of ADHD or ODD, things like that. ABA is often used to reduce problem behavior. So when you think of applied behavior analysis, a lot of times providers will recommend and refer children that have some behavior issues related to their autism to receive ABA services. And as you can see from this visual on the right, parents are often very happy and sometimes surprised with the work that we do with our programming and implementing behavior reduction procedures. So here we have a nice explanation of the other uses that ABA is applied to. So ABA can be used in animal training, ABA can be used in classroom management, self-management, organizational behavior management, substance abuse, verbal behavior and language, safety, construction, clinical therapy, all kinds of different applications, not just for autism treatment. So now we're going to move into talking about data collection. So everything in ABA is based on data that is collected. Oftentimes we collect ABC data. So ABC stands for antecedent, behavior, and consequence. We call that a three-term contingency. So as you can see from this visual and explained above, the antecedent is what happens immediately before the behavior. And the behavior, of course, is what is measurable and observable. So what the behavior looks like. Is it crying? Is it screaming? Is it hitting something? And then the consequence is what occurs immediately after the behavior. So here we have some clips from our online data collection system. This online platform is where our clinicians here at CCABA go on during the session, and whenever a behavior occurs, they'll go on and they'll kind of enter in what the antecedent was. Was the client denied access? Was a demand presented? Was there an academic demand presented? And then what was the behavior like? Was it elopement? Was it a behavior episode? Was it hitting? What the behavior was. And then they'll also enter in the consequence. Did the clinician continue with the demand? Was there no change? And also, clinicians are able to enter in any other relevant details, specifically the setting events or where the behavior happened, in what room of the house, different things like that, just depending on the client specifics. Here we also have a clip from our online platform where we could collect our data. This is actually one of my own clients. So, of course, his name and information is not here for HIPAA and client confidentiality reasons. But as you can see, he had a session this day for a duration of almost 4 hours. Some of his goals are listed here, and I wanted to highlight some different things that we have. So at the bottom, we collect frequency on some of the behaviors that he has. So he has protest episodes, repetitive statements, aggression, and elopement. So we collect frequency data on that, meaning how many times did that behavior occur. In the middle here, we also have a frequency data target for gathering information about a peer. So we just collect the frequency or the number of times on how many times the client did engage in that target of gathering information about another peer. And on the right, you can see this nice graph here with 3 data points that represents the data that was collected for the past 3 days. At the top, you'll see a bunch of words, the full verbal model, indirect verbal, full physical, partial physical. Those are all prompts. So if the client did not engage in the target response independently, then you would mark which prompt the clinician used to prompt that client to engage in the independent correct response. And at the bottom here, you'll see that this target labeling emotions is in generalization, which means that the client has already mastered the intervention. And so now the skill is being generalized to other settings and other people. And here we do not collect frequency, we are collecting percent of occurrence. So each trial, did the client do it independently or did he need prompting? So now we're going to move into talking about the why of behavior. So why did this behavior happen? All behavior happens for a reason, and this is called the function. So there are 4 functions. There is escape, attention, access to a tangible, and sensory or automatic reinforcement. So escape is when an individual may be engaging in a behavior in order to get out of doing something he or she does not want to do. So here we have a nice example of what an escape behavior could look like. Okay, so as you can see from that video, the mom told the daughter to sit down. So then immediately the daughter started to engage in hair pulling. Um, so if we look at the antecedent, mom said sit down. The behavior was hair pulling, and the consequence was the mom is following through with that demand. She's gonna make that daughter sit down. We can't see that in the video, unfortunately, but she's gonna wait until the daughter does sit down. Um, so that is a very good example of escape behavior. Next, we're going to look at some attention-seeking behavior. This is when an individual may be engaging in a behavior because he or she has a desire for access to social interactions, whether it be from peers or an adult. Also wanted to note that attention can be positive or negative. So here is an example of attention-seeking behavior. So as you can see there, the child cries when he sees his parents, which I assume are the ones recording this video. But whenever the child is not being seen by his parents, he's totally normal. So I would say that crying is definitely his attention-seeking behavior. Here we have access to a tangible. So this is when an individual may be engaging in a behavior in order to gain access to a preferred item or activity. So here's an example of access.
Lola, no more Dora, honey. I'm sorry. It's time for bed. It's 7:30. No, we have to turn Dora off at 4.
So this is a pretty good example of the function of a behavior being access. So you heard the mom say that she can't have Dora, and so now the child is crying. So we know that she wants Dora, so that's why she's crying in order to try to attain some Dora time. Here we have two examples of automatic reinforcement, which is defined as when an individual may be engaging in a behavior in order to obtain some type of internal sensation that is pleasing or to remove an internal sensation that is aversive. So automatic reinforcement is also known as self-stimulatory behavior or sensory reinforcement. So here's one example. Okay, so as you can see there, this individual is engaging in some nail biting behavior. So as you saw in the video, there was no clear antecedent or consequence. We just saw the nail biting behavior. So if she's normally engaging in that behavior by herself, it's probably giving her some type of internal sensation. And here we have another example. So as you saw from that video, that individual is engaging in some hair twirling. Again, there's no clear antecedent or consequence. She is engaging in that behavior when she's alone, so it's most likely also giving her some sort of internal sensation. Okay, now we have a little bit of a quiz, so we're gonna try and see if you guys can guess what the function of each of these behaviors is. So I'm gonna go in random order and start with this one. Okay, so as you can see from that video, that child is engaging in some behavior of looking at his mom and then throwing the toy after he cleaned up all of his toys. He still was throwing them, but if you notice, every time he would look at his mom first and then throw it. So that would be considered some attention-seeking behavior. So hopefully you guys got that first one. Here's number two. So, as you can see from that video, that individual engaged in a pretty big burst of behavior there. He was attempting to access the copier in order to make it work. So that behavior was, the function of that behavior was definitely access to a tangible. So here's behavior number three. Let's see if you guys can guess the function. So in this video, this individual is rubbing his hands together, touching his ears, touching his face, looking up with his eyes, looking up. So the function of that behavior would be automatic or sensory reinforcement. You got it. So this is a very good example of stereotypy that individuals with autism sometimes engage in. So just a side note there. And number four, let's see if you guys can guess this one, without process of elimination.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way out of a traffic ticket. Ticketbus.com, get your California traffic ticket dismissed.
So by that funny video, I'm sure you were able to see that that function of his behavior was escape. So the guy's behavior was that he took the ketchup packet and squirted it all over himself and pretended to be dead in order to try and get out of the ticket from the cop. Hopefully that worked for him, but probably not. Okay, so now we're going to move into talking about reinforcement. There are two types of reinforcement. There's positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement. So, reinforcement is when the likelihood of the behavior occurring again is high. So, positive reinforcement is when something is added that will increase the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. Negative reinforcement is when something is taken away that will increase the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. So we have some examples on the bottom here. So when there's no darkness and a light switch is pressed and then you have darkness, that would be a good example of positive reinforcement because something was added. When you have light and then you press the light switch and the light is gone, something was taken away. Therefore, that was negative reinforcement. You're going to hit that light switch every time you want to turn the light off. Now we move into punishment. And punishment and reinforcement are kind of intertwined. They're a little bit complicated, so let's play close attention to the definitions here. So, as before, we said reinforcement was when the likelihood of the behavior occurring again is increased, and reinforcement is when the likelihood of the behavior occurring again is decreases. So, positive punishment is when something is added that will decrease the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. Negative reinforcement is when something is taken away that will decrease the likelihood of the behavior occurring again. So, positive punishment is when something is unpleasant. So, Bart Simpson here got in trouble at school. He had to write on the board several times, cursive writing, blah, blah, blah. So, that's unpleasant. He had to do that, which means it was added. He will likely not engage in the behavior that caused him to get in trouble because he probably does not want to write that on the board a million times. On the other hand, we have his skateboard being taken away. So that would be considered as negative punishment. Something desirable was removed. He doesn't want to get in trouble again because he doesn't want to lose his skateboard. He loves his skateboard. So he's probably not going to engage in that behavior that got him in trouble in the first place. So you're probably like, what did you even just say? Again, just to reiterate, if you want to increase a behavior, you're going to use reinforcement. So when you add something, it's positive reinforcement. When you take something away and you're increasing the behavior, negative reinforcement. When you want to decrease a behavior, you add a stimulus, it would be positive punishment. If you want to decrease the behavior and take away something, it's negative punishment. So think of positive reinforcement as like a reward. So maybe when you guys were younger, your parents might have given you some kind of treat or money, something valuable to you, in order to keep you doing something valuable. Yes. When something is taken away and you're increasing that behavior, it's escape. It's reinforcing that that thing was taken away. So now, what does ABA look like? So here we have a Board Certified Behavior Analyst, or BCBA for short, and underneath the BCBA we have some Registered Behavior Technicians, or RBT for short. So ABA is administered one-on-one by an individualized support team. So we have your BCBA, who provides clinical direction, supervision, and case management to RBTs. So the BCBAs individualize a treatment program and behavior implementation programs, and those are implemented by the RBTs. So these RBTs deliver treatment protocols. So we're going to actually show you guys what ABA looks like. Most people think that ABA always looks like this.
Duncan, give me the fox. You got it, buddy. That is the fox. Touch the fox. Good job. Okay. Duncan, touch the key. Good job touching the key. Very nice, buddy. Give me 5. Good job. Okay. Okay, nice sitting. Thank you. Duncan, give me the drum. Good job giving me the drum. You got it, buddy. Hey, Duncan, touch your ears. Those are your ears. Very nice.
So, while ABA does look like this often, this is not what entire ABA sessions look like. ABA often does look like this too. So, as you can see, they're just having lots of fun here, doing lots of pairing, preferred activities, but they're also still learning here too. ABA looks like this too.
Dry his back. Belly. Oh my goodness. Oh, big hug. Big hug. Bye bye, baby. More babies.
Okay, in this example, I love it. As you can see, this clinician here is following the client's play. She is modeling by labeling body parts of the baby. She's labeling items that they're playing with. So while they're still engaging in preferred activities and having lots of fun, the client is also still learning through natural environment teaching. Sometimes ABA can even look like this too.
Turn this way. Turn this way. Turn.
So as you see in this video, we have a clinician going on a community outing with the client's parents. So we have lots of teens and other age individuals who greatly benefit from going into community settings and learning how to generalize skills and how to learn maybe some functional skills. Okay, now we're going to talk about the role of an RBT. So RBTs work under close ongoing supervision from a board-certified behavior analyst. RBTs also pair constantly with their clients. So the videos that we saw previously where the clinicians are having lots of fun and engaging with their clients, that is what we consider as pairing. RBTs also collect data on behaviors through direct observation. RBTs communicate behavioral intervention results to parents and caregivers. RBTs use discrete trial training to teach client new skills. Discrete trial training looks like this video. So where he had some cards, the client was at the table, that would be considered discrete trial training. RBTs also target skills in natural environment. So playing like this or like this, these are also teaching skills through play, but not necessarily sitting at a table to learn skills. RBTs use reinforcement to shape behaviors, and RBTs follow a behavior reduction plan to reduce problem behaviors. And again, those reduction plans and other treatment interventions are designed by the BCBAs and then taught to the RBTs to implement with the clients. So, registered behavior technicians at CCIBA have a passion for improving the lives of children with autism and their families. They are empowered by science and committed to evidence-based practice. The exemplar RBT is constantly seeking knowledge and pursuing a career path in applied behavior analysis. They are intelligent, motivated, coachable, eager, and kind. They are solution-focused, inclusive of others, and ethically bound. They take responsibility for their work, they celebrate the success of others, and are always seeking to improve. The exemplar CCIB RBT is looking for a platform to do their life's work, which will be seeking and supporting a culture of collaboration and growth. We greatly value our RBTs here at CCIBA. Like I said earlier, they are the ones that are one-on-one with the client, so we, as a whole, we can't do ABA without RBTs. So, moving into the BCBA role. BCBAs develop behavior plans and interventions to reduce problem behaviors with clients. They provide ongoing training and supervision of RBTs as well as training and supervision of parents. BCBAs also write programming for individualized client skill acquisition goals, create session notes for each supervision session conducted. BCBAs meet with families, teachers, or other professionals to discuss clients' treatment and progress. So, oftentimes BCBAs meet with speech therapists or occupational therapists or dentists or other service providers to discuss the client and what's going to best benefit our client. Lastly, BCBAs conduct research to keep up to date with current findings to apply to client programs. BCBAs at CCABA have a passion for improving the lives of children with autism and their families. They are empowered by science and committed to evidence based practice. The exemplar BCBA is constantly seeking knowledge and pursuing excellence in ABA, just like RBTs. They're intelligent, motivated, coachable, eager, and kind, solution focused, and inclusive of others, as well as bound by the ethics code. They take responsibility for their work, they celebrate the success of others, and especially our clients, and are always seeking to improve. The exemplar CCABA BCPA is looking for a platform to do their life's work, seeking and supporting a culture of collaboration and growth. So I do want to touch a little bit on ABA at Carolina Center for ABA. So we offer individually designed services for each client and family. As I said earlier, each individual with autism is completely different from the next, and every treatment program that is written is tailored specifically to that individual client, not a general all around treatment plan. We also offer clinic based services, in home services, and community based services. We also offer comprehensive and focused services, meaning that a comprehensive treatment plan would be between 30 and 40 hours a week, and a focused treatment plan would be between 10 and 29 hours a week. We also have some special programs here at our company. We have a classroom readiness program as well as an upcoming tween and teen program. We also do provide family training to the families of our clients. We are proud to be the leading provider of ABA therapy in North Carolina, so that is huge. We stand out by by providing clinic-based services, which allow for comprehensive treatment. We also have 3 clinics in Cary, Charlotte, and Fayetteville, and offer in-home services around those 3 clinics. So here we have a little clip of we had asked some of our RBTs at CCABA what their favorite part about working in the ABA is. So here are some of their responses.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier. I want you to be happier. I like being a part of a team that brings a difference to their client and their family.
Yeah, great friendly environment to work with. The BCBAs and other RBTs are always helping us to learn and grow so we become the best RBTs. One of the reasons I love being an RBT is I get to work one-on-one with kids and I get to see a real change over time, including their functional skills and their skill acquisition.
I like that I can be my kid's reinforcement versus a typical object.
I like being an RBT because I like helping others. I like the impact and the change that you see working with families and working with kids.
Every day is something different.
I love playing with the kids and seeing them get super excited. I love making an impact on the kids' lives. Seeing the progress they make throughout session is one of the best feelings in the world.
It's so rewarding to see the great results of my kids.
So if you are interested in pursuing a career in ABA, we could definitely help with that. We offer apprenticeship programs and we also offer mentorship programs. So if you guys are interested, these are the references that we use. But if you would like more information or would like to contact myself or Denise, here is our information. Our emails and our phone numbers are listed here. So I thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to hopefully talking to you soon.